Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Villanova Baseball Stadium here in Plymouth Township, Pennsylvania for this week's Perky Valley Twilight League matchup of the week between the Conshohocken Commodores and the Collegeville White Sox. I'm here, Ryan Straub, joined today with Tyson Maddox and Ryan Cuny. We got a three-man set here. We're doing our channeling our inner ESPN Sunday Night Baseball broadcast. Tyson, Ryan, how are we doing tonight, guys?
I'm doing pretty good.
I'm great. Happy to be here.
I think an interesting matchup here. Two very, very good pitchers. And so, with a hot day like today, I think both teams would actually enjoy maybe a pitcher's duel, get out of here a bit faster.
The first pitch of today's ball game's in there for a called strike from number 6, Cade Bryce-Blatt.
Yeah, to that point, it's a hot day, and it's going to add to it. This is a turf infield, so these pitchers and hitters are going to be struggling all day.
Same, Bryce-Blatt with a 1.75 ERA. Doing very well this season, although unfortunately it doesn't really hold a candle to Jason Hughes for the White Sox, who will be pitching, who has a 2.8 ERA.
That 0-2 is popped up behind home plate. The catcher, McNeil, is off with the mask and makes the catch for the first out of this ball game. Yeah, Tyson, to your point, Cade Bryce-Blatt getting the ball today for Conshohocken, sixth appearance, all starts. He's gone 16 innings this year. He's given up 13 hits, 8 runs, 4 of which were earned. He's walked 7, struck out 14 for that 1.75 ERA, like you said.
An even matchup here. Both teams 10-7. Conshohocken Commodores have one extra game played, 10-7-1. That was a rain delay in the 6th inning of a pitcher's duel between them and Trooper Tribe. 0-0 was the score at the time.
That 0-1 is in the dirt.
Interesting here with Bryce-Blatt. He's got a little bit of a three-quarter, maybe closer to sidearm release. You're going to see a lot of movement from his fastball. It's going to look like a two-seamer, but I almost guarantee you it is actually four-seam.
The 1-1 up and out. That'll make it 2-1. Number 5, Austin Edgett, steps into the box here for Collegeville, hitting 200 on the year with 2 base hits and 5 runs scored.
So a little surprised not to see from Collegeville, Joey Lancelotti. He's normally their 2-hitter, and he's hitting 289. Obviously, part of these leagues, you want everyone to get their fair shake. You want everyone to get their at-bats, but usually that is the norm for Collegeville.
2-2 in the dirt. That'll run the count full. So Conshohocken coming in today, as Ryan said, 10-7-1, sitting in second place in the Perky Valley Twilight League. Collegeville 10-7, they sit in third. A huge matchup here as we get closer to the playoffs. As that pitch is down for ball 4, Edgett able to draw the 1-out walk.
Good patience there. It feels as though Bryce-Blatt, he just hasn't gotten it going yet with his off-speed pitches more than anything. His fastball, he's gone in around the zone enough, but for those two off-speed or those couple of off-speeds, all of them really low. I understand maybe you want to get a guy to chase, but eventually you got to put it in the zone.
So runner on first here. 1 out, top of the first inning between Collegeville and Conshohocken. As I was saying, a huge matchup here in the Perky Valley League as these two teams battle for these top spots as we get closer to the playoffs.
First ball hit back at us today.
This is number 26, Owen Petrich, up for Collegeville, hitting 242 on the year, 8 hits. Team leading 15 RBIs. He also has 6 runs and 3 homers on the season.
He's one of those utility guys. Both likes to hit it in play with some speed, but it's capable of the power you see with the 3 home runs. What's really big about that first walk is Cody Clark, the huge power hitter, is going to come up to bat next.
Petrich, he almost kind of reminds me of Kyle Schwarber in terms of how the hits have played out, because it's a lot of home runs and a lot of singles, not much else. Of course, he has a bit of a higher average than Schwarber, but still sort of
That
that's how
pitch
it's
chopped on the ground to the third baseman, Reed. Fires to second for 1. They're going to say he was out at second base. The second baseman, Diaz, bobbled it on the transfer. So it'll be a 6-4 putout for Conshohocken.
Yeah, that was huge. We'll take a look at the replay here. Huge for Collegeville. An error there. Unable to make the throw over to first. certainly going to end the inning. Had him in time, but it's going to allow the power hitter, Cody Clark, to hop up to bat.
CC's the first pitch down for ball one. Yeah, Clark, 378 on the year. Leads the team with 17 hits. He also has 9 RBIs, 7 runs scored, and a homer. He's 2 for 2 with a run scored in their last game. 1-0. In there for a called strike.
So one thing both teams have to watch out for with this turf infield is any sort of grounder that isn't hit extremely hard, it's going to be an easy out because of how easy it is to field on this turf.
Bryce Blatt out to a 1-2 count here with 2 outs in the top of the first inning. Just getting settled in here. Sun setting in Plymouth Township. Beautiful Villanova baseball stadium. We actually had a venue change about midway through the day today. This game was originally supposed to be played at Norristown High School, the home of the Conshohocken Commodores, but with the storms in the area last night and the turf infield here at Villanova, as that pitch is on the ground, so the shortstop Zakarowicz, who's up with it. Cody Clark not running out of the box very much at all. An easy play there for Zakarowicz. Conshohocken able to get out of it.
Yeah, just nice and easy chopper for Conshohocken, as you see there. So he could have even gone to second, but I think Clark, he just knew with this turf field, the ball's not going to slow down enough for him to really have a chance, even if he's sprinting.
So Bryce Blatt able to work around that 1-out walk. We're going to stay right here. As I was making the point, this game was originally supposed to be played at Norristown High School, but with the storms last night in the area, they weren't able to get that field ready for the game tonight. And with Collegeville playing here at Villanova with the turf infield, much easier to play on after a rainstorm like that. So we actually had a venue change. This is the home of Collegeville, but Conshohocken will be the home team.
Also say a nice thing about this field, even though the infield is grass, it's actually slightly downhill away from home plate, so it will drain pretty well, all things considered, with the heavy rain we got last night. So no surprise that this field is, at least to me, looks 100% dry, 100% good to go with the hot temperatures we got today.
And it looks like we got lucky with the weather report as well. Rain got pushed back. We were originally scheduled for rain right around the end of this game, around 8 o'clock, but that got pushed back late into the night, so we've got nothing but beautiful blue skies for this massive matchup between the Commodores and the White Sox.
Almost worried for the pitchers if someone's going to sweat all over one of those balls and then give a few walks to one of the guys. Because I know for me, I'd be sweating all over the place if I was pitching on that mound.
Yeah, I was thinking earlier, I feel like we're going to see the pitchers come off to a really strong start in the beginning, but as they start to get worn down from the heat, hands start to get sweaty, and the batters start to dial it in a little bit more. I think right around maybe the 4th inning, I'll call my shot in the 4th. We're going to see an explosion of bats.
I was just thinking while you were saying that, if this were a 9-inning game, I wouldn't be surprised if guys, the idea would be like 3 innings swap, 3 innings swap, just because it is so hot. And honestly, to a degree, I wouldn't be surprised with the same thought for a catcher. Just because with the additional gear on, both teams wearing black jerseys and how hot that turf is, it would be tough to be sitting there all day.
Yeah, and we've got a pretty good view of both bullpens, so we'll be able to see if/when any of these two teams start warming their guys up, which will be something to watch as this game progresses.
Yeah, guys, if I had to make a prediction on when that would be, it might not be at all for these Collegeville White Sox as they give the ball to Jason Hughes, who's coming off of a 5-inning no-hitter in their last game.
Yeah, you don't want to give up on a guy with a hot streak going like that.
Absolutely not. I mean, .28 ERA. I mean, for a starting pitcher as well, usually that's closer type of ERA. He's having a great, great season, but he's doing fantastic right now.
Absolutely, as he gets ready for the first batter that he will face is number 15, Cole Duhame. So, yeah, Hughes giving up just 7 hits, 6 runs, only the 1 earned run in 24 2/3 innings pitched this year. He's been a man on a mission for Collegeville. So that first pitch is down and out for ball 1.
One maybe slight disadvantages for Hughes. Also, Collegeville, they use
A wristband system for their calling pitches. If he's get a hit by pitch there, ouch, right on the arm.
Yeah, it's not a good
Yeah,
spot to get
Collegeville, they
hit.
have a wristband system, so that's also going to absorb a lot of sweat. And if you're messing with it at all, which most guys do, it is rather uncomfortable if you're not used to it. It's probably going to affect his pitching a little bit.
Yeah, let's take a look at that replay as Duhame takes a painful one. See where he got it. Yeah, right on the elbow there. Not where you want to get hit at all.
That elbow,
painfully
tricep
struts.
area. He's
Yep.
going to be feeling that one in the morning.
So you think ball slipped out of his hand with the sweat a little bit there, or just kind of lost control?
I think at the start, especially with probably game balls being rotated, I think it's more slip out of his hands right now. But again, wouldn't be surprised if it was sweat. And I got to say, I feel bad for Duhame right on the elbow like that, and with Hughes throwing more velocity, or at least on the higher end, I feel for Perky League. It's going to be hard for him to feel that left hand after that ball in the funny bone.
1-1 the count here to number 26, Cole Krieger. Runner on first after that hit by pitch. Start Hughes' outing. As the signing comes set. 1-1. On the ground to the second baseman, McCouch. Flips over to second for one. On to first in time. 4-6-3 double play for Collegeville.
And you can see it's so easy for the infielders, especially if the ball's going right to them, they can just sit back and just nice, easy double play here.
Yeah, we can see no missteps here. Very decisive, clean transfer. Something that the White Sox couldn't quite do, but it didn't really matter as they got out of the inning scoreless.
I think for the White Sox, the base runner was a little closer to the base when sliding, and that can mess things up.
This is the first pitch to Ian Diaz. Is hit in the air, right field. Feaster has a beat on it and settles under it, makes the catch for out number 3.
Say one thing before we go to break here on number 26, Krieger. It's 13 doubles with 15 hits. So just a doubles merchant, kind of I think of Alec Boehm sort of as a comparison.
So we will go to the top of the second here on the Sports Fan Base Network, 0-0 between Collegeville and Conshohocken.
Hi, I'm Tommy Green, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. When I was in high school, it was very important to me to show scouts what I could do. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you're a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Hi, I'm Marty Bystrom, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. In my experience in Major League Baseball, I know how important it is for high school athletes to gain exposure. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you are a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY.
Welcome me back here for the top of the second inning on the Sports Fan Base Network. First pitch of the inning is inside to number 51, Colin Jensen. (1-0) check swing, he did go, says the home plate umpire. Cade Bryce-Blatt, the starting pitcher for Conshohocken. Jason Hughes, the starting pitcher for Collegeville, as that pitch is on the ground to the third baseman, Reed. Nice, easy play for him. Retires Jensen for out number 1.
While throwing around here, Ryan, if I remember correctly, you were saying during the commercial break that you went to the same school as both of the starting pitchers today, right?
I did, yep. Yeah, Cade Bryce-Blatt, Jason Hughes, both went to Immaculata University, my alma mater. Both played baseball there, obviously, enough. Two very good pitchers and a very good baseball program out there at Immaculata. Head coach Josh Kopsky. They've won 3 Atlantic East championships in the last 4 seasons.
Wow.
That's some dominance.
As that pitch chopped again on the ground to the third baseman, Reed. Nice play to his left.
One thing you can see here from Bryce Blatt, he's doing, some people may not know the term for this, he's tunneling a little bit. So he threw, you're not going to see the first pitch on the replay, but he threw his two-seam inside, and then he threw his curveball basically in the same spot. And so the mix-up of the velocity and the timing while looking like it's basically the same pitch can be very useful. And a lot of good pitchers in MLB do the same thing.
So 2 quick outs here for Bryce Blatt, top of the second inning. Mike Hutchinson, the batter for Collegeville. 1-0, hit foul down the right field line.
Yeah, on that first out, too, I want to give a shout-out to Baselli, the first baseman. That was a heck of a reach he had.
Absolutely.
Slightly inaccurate throw, but he was able to get it down.
So that 1-1 is inside. Yeah, it's a great point, Ryan. A lot of times first basemen do not get the credit they deserve. Sometimes they got to make some acrobatic plays over there on that bag.
And made that play, Baselli did.
So 2-2 count here. Bryce Blatt been very efficient so far. Into the windup, the pitch. Just misses off the outside corner. You can tell there Bryce Blatt wanted it. Sort of jumped off the mound thinking he had strike 3.
It can be tough with sort of a tailing or a two-seam movement for fastball because you have to adjust. Does almost get hit there. You have to account for it, and so you throw a little more outside than you might want to every once in a while. And at the same time, it can be tough if he is throwing a two-seamer, which I have not been able to tell. You sort of get opposite wrist movements. You know, most people sort of know with a curveball, you sort of break your wrist over the top. Two-seam at the opposite. It's called pronating.
As that pitch is into left field. Runner's going to go first to third. That is Hutchinson. Tough play there for the shortstop, Zakarowicz. Sliding on his knees to his right. Not sure if he would have had a play anywhere, as we'll check out the replay.
Yeah, that would have been a beautiful play at short. Just unable to get there. You can see a little hesitation at second. He'll take off right away. Smart base running to put runners on the corners.
And again, that can be sort of the one advantage of the turf is if you get even the smallest bit of velo onto the ball, it's just going to there's no grass to slow it down as opposed to you saw in the outfield. As soon as it hit the grass, it stopped dead in its tracks. So
there's a funky hop out there where it transitions from turf to grass as well. So you can see
yeah, that lip.
The ball is really catch an edge. If hit directly at it, can be a problem to track.
So big at bat here early in this ball game. Number 28, Mark McCouch, the batter. Runners on the corners. That pitch on the ground to the shortstop, Zakarowicz, who's up with it and flips to second in time for out number 3.
That's the thing. I mean, maybe 5 feet to the right, 5 feet to the left. Might have been a single. Would have been a really tough play for the shortstop, but unfortunately, it was right at him. That's baseball.
That's something a coach would hit to you in Little League to get you warm. Just working on grounders there. Nice
First
easy.
round of IO. Might get something like that.
So a routine play there for Zakarowicz. Bryce Blatt able to get out of the first and third situation. So we're just starting to settle in here. 0-0 the score between Collegeville and Conshohocken. We'll go to the bottom of the second.
Trying to see in either dugout if I see a couple of towels. Trying to see, are there any coolers in there, anything to keep guys cool in the dugouts. Obviously no AC, and I don't think there are any fans in there either.
I believe we'll see Zakarowicz first.
Yep, it'll be 4, 5, 6 here, heart of the order.
Yep.
For Conshohocken. Hughes obviously led off the game with that hit by pitch to Duhane, but then quickly made up for it with that double play off the bat of Krieger.
Yeah, Zakarowicz.
370 average. Again, another guy with a lot of doubles, 8 doubles with 10 hits. And I got an odd OPS that I think is wrong. I'll have to recalculate that. But, here we go. An OPS of a 1.093. Hitting very well.
And naturally with 2 home runs and batting in the 4 spot, he's got power as well. deep to center field today. It's 405. So if anyone hits it out to center, they really got a piece of it. So it might be a challenge getting home runs today.
Yeah, and myself and Tyson actually had a game a couple weeks ago here between these Collegeville White Sox and the Talminson Bats, and we were making the same point. There was a line drive, I forget by which team, to be honest, out to center field, and it got over the center fielder's head, and you can tell he was kind of so surprised and taken aback by how far the ball was driven. There was so much space in between where he was playing and the fence that, I mean, that was the only ball that we know of in that game that went off the fence. You have to hit it a long way to hit it out there today.
I think it was the White Sox, because I believe it was part of their sort of earlier comeback. I think they were down in that game, and then that was sort of their first big hit around
Correct.
the fourth or fifth inning or
Yep.
so.
So we get ready here for the bottom of the second. Zakharowicz, the batter. First pitch to him is through and into right field for a base hit.
Really nice job finding the gap there. Good solid piece, lead off hit, get a single. That's exactly what you're looking for.
He's going to add to that 370 average, his 11th base hit of the season.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
see why
that's
he's
the thing
got it.
with Hughes. He gives them a lot of power off the bat just because of how hard he throws himself. So didn't look like the greatest contact in the world, but it doesn't matter just because there's so much velocity coming in.
So runner on first here, nobody out for number 6, Chase Jones. That first pitch in there for a called strike.
Jones DHing today in place of Bryce Bat.
Who are both, we apologize for any confusion, but they are both number 6, Chase Jones and Cade Bryce-Blatt. However, they kind of interchange in the way that Jones is the DH and Bryce-Blatt not in the lineup. So that first pitch is swung on and missed. It's going to get by the catcher, Kearns.
Oh.
And then he slides into the Conchi dugout. That was a funky kind of play.
So what he was trying to do was the ball would have gone out of bounds, and because of where Zarowitz was, if the ball had gone out of bounds and he was past second base, they would have given him third for free.
Right, so he
saves
saved
a
it-
base.
saves a base by
just keeping the ball
Right.
inside the field of play.
That was kind of a funky pitch there and sequence. It looked like Jones fouled it off, but I guess the catcher, Kearns, just couldn't catch the pitch.
Yeah, maybe it just caught the edge of his back, 'cause like you said, he kind of check swing, then realized he was already there, so he just full swung. Maybe he hit it on the bounce back or something like that.
At the same time, I mean, this field is used quite a bit, so maybe it just hit it looked like it was an off-speed pitch. Maybe it just hit the plate wrong, or maybe it just hit some of those turf beads wrong with the spin.
Certainly all possibilities here.
That pitch is hit in the air down the right field line. Feaster giving chase. It's going to go out of play.
Right off his bat, looked like it was right down the first base line. Had some curve to it, unfortunately, heading foul. But probably in his best interests. That's Reed's best interest, as Feaster was there, certainly to make the catch.
It's tough to say just because if it didn't curve out, probably maybe gone back a little bit more. Maybe it would have been a little bit harder to catch that. But yeah,
Hughes set. A little bit of dancing from Zakharowicz at second. The 1-2 pitch upstairs. That'll make it 2-2.
And not a flinch from our umpire. How about that? I was going right at his face.
Got to
what he's
have
trained
trust
for.
in these guys behind the plate.
Yeah, he's a seasoned vet.
I feel bad for him too. He's got a lot of gear on as well, being the home place umpire.
Certainly a hot day.
2-2 pitch on the ground to the shortstop, Petrich. He's going to throw to third, and it's going to be dropped by the third baseman, Luzens. Jones will advance to second base. Conshohocken going to have second and third here with nobody out.
Funny enough, I was gonna say if I was Zarowitz, I wouldn't have run on that play. It is a little too close to the right side. If someone can get a replay of the exact hit, it's too close to the middle, and usually the rule is, my apologies, it was too far from the middle. If it's up the middle, then you would run as a runner on second base. But I thought that was too far to their right, and with the play being right to the shortstop, I thought it was going to be easy tag out.
So let me ask you this. Are you confident that that's the right decision, or instead of going for the force out at first?
I mean,
If I was the shortstop, that's the right decision just because you're getting the ball so early. all you need is a clean throw, and that's an easy out. And you could sort of see in the replay, the ball was going to get to third really early.
Yep.
So that was the right play from the shortstop. Is just when a close play like that, especially for important bags, it can be easy to move your glove just a little too early, which happened to Luzens there.
Got to see in the catch.
So that 0-1 pitch to Roman Reed swung on and missed for strike 2. So Conshohocken threatening here in the bottom of the second inning. They've got 2 ducks on the pond with nobody out.
I will say his off speed has been fantastic. Hughes, he's been keeping it on the outside very low for the most part. It's been very good.
That 0-2 is outside. Reed
That one
hitting
a little bit more outside.
Reed hitting .344 on the year with 11 hits, 7 RBIs, 5 runs scored, and a homer. Was 1 for 2 in their last game. 1-2 pitch. Just a bit low, it seems. Was center cut enough from our vantage point here behind home plate?
Yeah, definitely. I think just a little bit low, as you said.
Nice thing is, if you're Reed here, only thing you really need to focus on is just try to hit up the middle or hit it hard.
That pitch is fouled back.
As long as you give enough room for your third base runner to run, you know, these guys, especially early in the game, they'll probably just go for the out instead, and also allow your second base runner to advance to third as well.
Two from Hughes. He's going to get by the catcher, Kearns. Zakarowicz is going to trot on home for the first run of this ball game.
Yeah, that's a tough take there for Hughes. See the replay here. Just gets away from the catcher. Low and outside. Really tough block to make. Definitely a possible play to make. Wasn't entirely on Hughes.
So I will mention, just with experience watching Kearns, he is not the best blocker in the world, but certainly in a position like this, you hope.
As that
Does he get
3-2
that
is
one?
into right field for a base hit. RBI single for Roman Reed. Conshohocken leads 2-0.
All right, so the bats are coming alive a little bit earlier than I predicted. I said the 4th. We're here in the bottom of the 2nd. Certainly a nice piece of hitting here. Going to get an RBI. We'll take a look at the replay. See, it was just out of frame of our camera, but it was probably 3 feet to the left or right, depending on the perspective. 3 feet inside the first baseman.
It's a great piece of hitting. That pitch was way outside, and that's exactly what you got to do. You just got to take it the opposite way, keep your power, and he did exactly that, and just one bounce right to right field.
Conshohocken 2-0 lead. I want to go back to that play there on that batted ball by Jones. They had Zakarowicz dead to right at third base. Third baseman Luzens just couldn't make the catch and apply the tag. Still nobody out.
And usually it just takes one little mistake like that. Sometimes it's an error, sometimes it's a drop ball, missed throw, whatever it might be. In this case, we had missed pitch or missed block, depending on how you look at it, missing the tag, and those 2 little mental mistakes really coming back to bite them, allowing 2 runs to score.
I forget, with those 2 runs, I understand the first one is not an earned run because it's a pass ball.
Yes.
Is the second one, even though it was a fielder's choice, and he got...
I think it probably technically still would be an earned run.
Okay.
It could. I'm not sure, actually. That's a good question.
So,
It would have been a fielder's choice if they were to have gotten the out at third base.
yes.
So, we'll have to see. Regardless, Conshohocken, doesn't matter how they'll get it. They will take it here.
Yeah, a run is a run.
And with 2 count here, runner on first, still nobody out. Tyler Baselli, the batter. Long pause from Hughes. The pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3.
That was a really beautiful pitch. Got him on the outside edge.
Yeah, and I think Baselli was thinking something off speed here. He was way behind on that fastball.
Yeah, certainly.
I'd say I expect for this at bat, maybe not going to try to give away Hughes' secrets, but I would expect he's going to keep everything really, really low. Try to force out a double play ball for his guys. Get out of the inning faster.
Pickoff attempt, and they've got him picked off. Easy tag and out there. Nice job by Hughes.
Yeah, don't want to be running a pickle very long
Nope.
in this heat. So I just made a conservative decision to try to get back to first. But good heads-up play there from Hughes.
Yeah, so Hughes picks off Roman Reed after a couple of tosses between first and second base. That'll empty the bases here. Patrick McNeil, the batter.
Guys, I love that outfielders didn't even think about sprinting in.
As you're taught to do.
They say, but it's also sort of a common or saying or sort of nomer that if your outfielders are part of your rundown, you've messed up your rundown. It's probably too long.
Yeah, exactly. They tell you from the time you're probably start coaching rundowns, what, 9, 10 years old maybe,
Yeah,
something
around
like
there.
that. Yeah, no more than 3 throws.
Because the thing is, if the outfielder's in there, hopefully that means that your entire infield has gone through the rundown,
Right.
which would be 6 throws, and shouldn't last certainly no more than that.
Correct. However, that one was quick there for Collegeville.
Yep.
0-1 count here to McNeil. That pitch upstairs. McNeil hitting .353 on the year. 6 hits, 4 RBIs, and 2 runs scored. He's behind the plate, the catcher today for Conshohocken. 1-1 pitch, and it hits him. Second hit by pitch for Hughes in as many innings.
He might be getting to him a little bit. That's not a characteristic thing from Jason Hughes. Usually has a lot more control than that.
I think
Take
now,
a look.
I think now we can say the sweat factor has sort of started because he's also had a lot more just high fastballs, and that is another indicator that the ball is just sort of slipping away from you. You're releasing it too early, either by accident as you're not focused or by the sweat.
That first pitch on the black, outside corner. Brilliant pitch there to start off the at-bat to Chase McNally.
Generously on the black.
At least there for the batter McNeil who got hit. He got hit in kind of the upper shoulder. It looked close to hitting his neck or head area, which would have been a problem, but definitely a better spot than Duhame's elbow.
0-1 on the outside corner again.
I'm surprised no courtesy runner for McNeil. There's 2 outs.
Being the catcher with 2 outs. Yeah, that you do raise a good point.
And honestly, I would just do it again because it's hot.
Yeah.
Even if there's 0 outs, it's like just get my catcher, let him sit down. The same thing with pitcher we're hitting today.
Yeah, that's a good point, Tyson.
0-2. Swung on and missed for strike 3.
Yeah.
However, Conshohocken strikes first with 2 runs in the bottom of the second inning. We will go to the top of the third here on the Sports Fan Base Network. Stick around.
Oh, first we're going to take a look at the replay. Swing and miss. Beautiful pitch on the outside corner. He's really finding that side nicely. That right half of the box, finding the edge beautifully.
Say another example of tunneling 2 fastballs outside and then curve outside. Really makes it tough.
So now we'll head to break. Stick around.
Hi, I'm Tommy Green, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. When I was in high school, it was very important to me to show scouts what I could do. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you're a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Hi, I'm Marty Bystrom, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. In my experience in Major League Baseball, I know how important it is for high school athletes to gain exposure. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you are a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Welcome you back here for the top of the third inning. Sports Fan Base Network. Conshohocken jumping out to a 2-0 lead.
We're going to start the inning off here with Feaster, Edgett, and Petrich at the top of the lineup. So we should see a little bit of the batting muscles being flexed here for Collegeville. Three guys all have very solid numbers. Deservedly are in the top of the lineup here.
That first pitch from Bryce Blatt outside for ball one. Yeah, to your point, Feaster coming into today hitting .298, 14 hits, 9 RBIs, a team-leading 14 runs scored. Guys, he also has 5 doubles as that pitch popped up high in the infield. First baseman Baselli has a beat on it. It's going to be the pitcher Bryce Blatt with his hat off and everything to make the catch for out number 1.
I say nothing's going to frustrate, especially a good hitter, more than 2 infield pop-ups and 2 short infield pop-ups at that. To be your first 2 at-bats.
To that point, immediately you saw his head drop. Some tough body language there from Kyle Feaster. You could see he was disappointed, just as you mentioned.
So 1 away here. That first pitch in there for a called strike to Austin Edgett. Yeah, it's a good point, Ryan. Feaster obviously probably thinks very highly of himself. He is a solid player, as we see by his numbers. That pitch on the ground at the shortstop, Zakarowicz, who's up with it. Fires in time for out number 2.
And even though both result in quicker outs, the thing with a grounder is more often than not, it will feel at least like decent contact. And so it feels like you're more on the pitch and you are hitting better. 2 pitches where you go really under, have an infield pop-up like that.
Yeah, interesting.
Feel a bit more lost.
Interesting thing there. He took 2 crow hops, saw a really deep, aggressive split there from Baselli. 2 athletic plays made at first base. A little bit scarier than it had to be for Conshohocken.
0-1 pitch to Petrich is outside. That'll make it 1-1.
Yeah, that always confused me once I stopped playing infield myself, was the idea of doing 2 hops. Because I feel like most guys, they have the ball in their hand and they could throw it on 1, but it's just sort of the habit is to do 2. Just feels unnecessary. But whatever works.
2-1, popped up foul outside of first base. Yeah, usually as an infielder, and especially on the left side, the third baseman and the shortstop, if you have time to do 2 hops and really get a good grip on that baseball and make a nice strong throw, you're encouraged to. And we see that Zakarowicz did there on that first out. 2-2 in the dirt. That'll run the count full. 3-2 count here, 2 outs, top of the third inning. Bryce Blatt into the windup. The pitch. Smacked right center field. Long run for everyone involved. It's going to split the gap. And 1 hop the wall. Petrich around first. And he will settle into second base with a 2-out double.
What a missile there. Just finding the gap in the wall. We were talking earlier how deep this wall is. That was a really nice.
I was a little nervous that the center fielder out there, Duhame, I thought he might have a beat on it, but he just never turned his back. And so at some point I thought, okay, yeah, it's definitely at least going to hit the wall. Question is he going to go for it, and he clearly didn't.
First pitch to Cody Clark on the ground to the third baseman, Reed, who's up with it. Fires in time. Baselli able to make a really nice catch there, as it seems he was being altered by the sun.
And blinded.
Yeah, I'm Baselli's biggest fan today.
How can you not be? I mean, we'll check the replay here. This is a fantastic catch.
He's just been making really nice play after really nice play that doesn't really show up on the stat sheet. It's not going to show up on any real highlight level plays. It's not a diving catch. It's not a home run. But it's huge plays that are keeping this score close.
It's a nice thing for his pitcher as well, just because any grounder, even if the rest of the infielders, they might make a little bit of a mistake throwing, as we saw. Not the best accuracy at times from some guys, but when you have a solid first baseman who you feel is going to catch everything, it just is great safety the same way having a catcher that is behind everything is.
Yeah, without a doubt. He's been a black hole today.
You can make the point, make the argument that that's a run-saving play. If Baselli is being altered by the sun and that ball gets by, what's his name? Petrich is going to score from third easily. I believe, yeah, we'll see it again here.
Yeah, I think that's a guarantee. I mean, he was already at third,
Yep.
slowing up. If that ball hits back into the backstop there,
The only hope that
might be more than one
that
run scoring.
the only hope that Conshohocken has is that maybe you would hit Baselli, which another way you don't really want because you don't want him to get hurt. But that would also be the only way to save the run because otherwise it's just going to go by him. And I don't think the right fielder, because of how big this field is close enough to really dissuade anything.
So we see here Jason Hughes back out for the bottom of the third inning. Conshohocken leading 2-0 as they try to get revenge on Collegeville after their last matchup on June 30th. Collegeville taking that one by a final score of 7-1. They used 11 hits with a run in the first, third, and then 5 runs in the fourth to take that matchup.
Eesh.
Owen Petrich had 3 hits and 4 RBIs in that contest. And Joey Lancelotti, as you were talking about earlier, Tyson had 3 hits and 2 runs for Collegeville in that one. Krieger of Conshohocken with the lone RBI, and Chase McNally, the lone run scored in that loss for Conshohocken. So a nice job by them here to jump out to the 2-0 lead as they try to even the score.
So I'm a little surprised by that, only because I feel every time I've watched Collegeville, they tend to get to a slow start when it comes to the hitting. And so to see them sort of burst onto a game like that, 11 hits in the first 3 innings, I mean, that's pretty different from what I typically see from them. But good on them.
So we're ready here for action. Bottom of the third inning. That first pitch in there for a called strike. I thought it was going to be a little bit up. However, Hughes will take it. That'll make the count 0-1.
And this is Luke Gartland. He's taking over in place of Duhame. I wonder if Duhame's just a little bit gassed or something. But
So
number
we're gonna
9.
we're gonna get a pinch hitter here for for Conshohocken down at 0-2 count. That pitch in the dirt.
Oh, I didn't think he went.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, excuse me. I actually looked down in my notes. I did not see what happened.
There's a check swing there.
Did they appeal to the first base umpire?
First.
Wow.
It seemed as though
Yeah, let's see.
I don't have the subs in front of me right now, but it seemed as though the hitter, he sort of knew.
Okay. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
kind of see there. He started to take a couple steps.
This is
So one away here for Cole Krieger. Yeah, we apologize for that bit of a confusion. We were expecting number 18 Cole Duhame, the leadoff hitter for Conshohocken, to lead off this inning here, but it was a pinch hitter instead.
some power here for Krieger.
Chopped on the ground to the shortstop, Petrich. Nice play! What a fantastic play there from Owen Petrich.
Yes,
Yeah,
stunning.
Love the idea of going for that one hop instead, just because, again, using sort of the turf to your advantage. You always want to keep stuff lower just because the turf's just not going to take away any velo, and that's exactly what he did there. Also, I'm trying to find Duhame in the dugout just to see if there's an update on him or anything. It looks like they're looking at someone in the dugout for Conshohocken, so maybe he's back there trying to cool down. So we'll see.
2 away here for Ian Diaz.
It's definitely something to look out for.
So I think my prediction maybe is that they took Duhame out of the game after that hit by pitch. We did say that it was in that dangerous kind of elbow area.
And then he was forced to make that deep throw from center field, maybe aggravating it slightly.
Right.
Yeah.
0-2 count the pitch. Outside.
Yeah, definitely no need for an appeal on that one.
One-two count here. 2 outs. Bottom of the third inning. Conshohocken up 2-0. The pitch. Hit right field. Feaster going back. Has a beat on it. And is able to make the catch for out number 3. So a 1-2-3 inning there for Jason Hughes. Able to bounce back after that second inning.
You can sort of see what I was talking about there, where it was easier to tell for the right fielder, for Feaster, that he was going to catch the ball just because he was still turned forward. He clearly was not nervous.
Hi,
about having
I'm
to
Tommy
run back
Green,
or
former
anything, as
pitcher for the
opposed to
Philadelphia
hitting
Phillies.
right,
When I
center
was in
field we
high
saw
school, it was
from,
very important to me.
Petrich, where the center fielders, they never turned their back because they just had to keep running as fast as possible.
So we will go to the top of the fourth here on the Sports Fan Base Network. Conshohocken leading 2-0. Stay right here.
Hi, I'm Tommy Green, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. When I was in high school, it was very important to me to show scouts what I could do. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you're a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922.
Hi, I'm Marty Bystrom, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. In my experience in Major League Baseball, I know how important it is for high school athletes to gain exposure. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you are a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Welcome back here, top of the fourth inning. Sports Fan Base Network, Conshohocken leading 2-0. First pitch of this inning to Colin Jensen is fouled off over the first base bag. So we'd like to apologize for the confusion there in the bottom of the third inning with Conshohocken up to bat. We do have a change, so Duhame out of the game after that hit by pitch. He is in shorts now. We're going to get number 9, Kevin Brace, into the game. We apologize. We thought that was Luke Gartland. We sometimes have to go off of the Perky Valley Twilight League website, which I got to say I have a bone to pick with them. Sometimes they do not update their website very well or very often enough. So we will apologize for that confusion, but now Ian Diaz goes from second base to center field. And as we said, number 9, Kevin Brace, into the ballgame to play second base, replacing Cole Duhame.
Yeah, especially the latter half of that last inning, for that last hitting part of the inning for Conshohocken, you could just see guys are sort of looking into the back corner, left corner of the dugout, and so we sort of assumed, okay, that's where Duhame was. We just weren't sure if he was going to come back, and they were giving him a break. But then eventually, during the break, we saw Duhame sit down. He is in black shorts, and so he's clearly done for the
As
day.
that 2-2 pitch is on the outside corner for a called strike 3. Bryce Black gets Jensen looking for the first out of this fourth inning.
Yeah, Jensen's frustrated, immediately looked back through grated teeth, heads back to the dugout. But that was a nice pitch right on the outside edge.
That's tough with that tailing fastball because you're going to think it's outside, but that's sort of part of what you got to look for as a hitter is even if it looks a little bit outside, if you can tell the velocity is there and you know how it tails, you might widen your zone a little bit just because you know it's going to come back in and it might get called for a strike.
1-0 here, line straight at the shortstop. Zakarowicz didn't have to move a muscle for out number 2.
And that's why I don't want to hear people complain about MLB The Show, perfect, and it goes right to a hitter. That's baseball, baby. That's how it is. It stinks, but
That's some nice reaction times, though.
yeah.
Ready to go.
Two-way here, that first pitch down for ball 1 to Mike Hutchinson.
See, McNeil not catching a lot of the stuff in the dirt, so maybe we were a little harsh on
Kearns.
On Kearns again. Hot day.
Just gonna say
a
that.
lot
Yeah.
of
Tough day
gear
for these
they're
guys.
wearing, and so it's so easy to lose focus. And just to sort of put the preface, we very much respect all the catchers out here because
Listen, I was a catcher.
I don't envy that job. As an
I was a
outfielder.
catcher for a very long time up until I hit high school, and as that pitch is lined center field, it'll be a base hit for Hutchinson. But yeah, absolutely. I was a catcher up until high school, and long, hot days behind the plate there with that gear on. It's not for the weak, and especially as these guys play up into their teens and their early 20s. I've got nothing but respect for them.
You know, CUNY, I think you were still right on your prediction because for Conshohocken, you can see some bullpen movement here.
Yeah, here we go a little
And
bit.
it's top of the fourth, and that's exactly what you predicted.
No movement, though, from Collegeville. Their bullpen remains empty. So
I forgot my.
Ryan was correct on that as well.
I say you were correct. I
2 for
forgot-
2 here.
I forgot my pitch counter. I meant to bring it for this game, but I think besides that,
That
yeah,
pitch
hard-
is lined deep left field. Krieger going back. It's gone. 2-run home run for Cole Lusens.
Almost right on cue. Talking about the bullpen when they need to come in. Pitchers might feel a little tired. How about a shot there from Lusens, third baseman?
I would guess that might have been more than a 110 exit velocity because that wasn't very high.
Yeah, let's
in
take
the
a
air.
look here. Just an absolute line drive out to left field. See you later. Not a chance in the world.
Hey, and I said I wanted a home run today on this field. I don't think I ever saw one before, and now I got it.
Yeah, now you've seen one.
I manifested it.
Beautiful.
Just like that, we are tied at 2.
Yeah, massive. Massive for the momentum. Massive for your energy on this hot day. That's just a huge piece of hitting. Not to state the obvious, of course. Every home run is huge.
Yeah, and that's just one of those moments where you really do that for your starting pitcher in Hughes, who usually is dominant, gave up the 2 runs earlier on. That pitch is in there for a called strike 3. So nice job by Bryce Blatt there to recover from that 2-run home run.
Yeah, we're going to take another look at this pitch. It was an absolute beauty.
As I say,
First the
actually
home
gonna
run.
Well, we'll
first.
talk about absolute beauties as that pitch was launched over the
Yeah.
left field wall.
But a stunning hit.
Yeah, I got to see for the strike 3 call there from McCouch. I don't know what he was complaining about. That thing was always in the zone, and if anything moved more into the zone, it was a great curveball.
Yeah, you can see it releases. Looks like it's hitting the batter and then curves
Yeah.
right back inside.
That's
It
a
was just
beauty.
a stunner.
Front door there from Bryce Blatt. But, yeah, the point I was making is that's huge if you're Jason Hughes. That's your guy. And to go out there and basically say, listen, man, we got you. You gave up a couple of runs. We're going to go and get them right back for you and knot this ball game up. I'd imagine after he recovered well there in the bottom of the 3rd inning that he's going to be full of confidence as he comes out for the 4th. We haven't seen him yet, but
So now, what do we do with Bryce Blatt? You saw the bullpen warming up.
Yeah,
He
I
just
imagine.
let up that home run.
you
Is
got to
his day
imagine
done?
his day might be done. Only considering that we saw bullpen movement even before the home run.
Yeah.
I think that was maybe the plan was to go 4 innings and see where we're at. But I would imagine his day could be done, but we will see.
No, I 100% agree with you there, Ryan. I mean, we've been talking about it all day. We can't stress enough. Just the temp, especially on the turf, which is what they're warming up on every inning and what those guys are warming up on, is just hard to have enough stamina with that type of heat as a pitcher. So it would have made sense to do the substitution even if he was no hitting right now.
Right.
I still understand substitution. Maybe I wouldn't be as for it, but certainly giving up the home run there, yeah, you probably just want to say, hey, these guys, they figured it out. Let's throw in someone new, already have someone warmed up. Nice and simple.
Couldn't agree more. 2-2 game here, bottom of the 4th inning. In this hotly contested game, literally and figuratively.
I also just realized we have fans next to the booth, not on the dugout, so a little weird seeing people more in earshot for baseball than I'm used to.
Well,
but
they're in-
hopefully they haven't
Listen,
heard
man, don't say
too much
anything
from us.
controversial and we won't have any problems.
Yeah.
I haven't said anything controversial yet, I don't think.
I'm not saying you have, my guy.
Hey, they're in a good spot, though. I would say the best spot at the field. They got shade from the booth that we're in. I'd be sitting right there, too.
Yeah, certainly for the Conshohocken fans. Collegeville. Maybe, you know what? I think, did Conshohocken get here first or did Collegeville get here first?
Yeah, I think it was pretty split.
Collegeville was the first player I saw.
Okay. It's because, and I say that because even if I'm not the home team here, as I think we might have some bullpen activity for Collegeville as well.
Yeah, that's
If-
number 14, Chase Fisher, headed over there.
Yeah, good reliever for the White Sox. If I'm the first player here, home or away, I don't care. I'm going to the one in the shade. And I think that is exactly what Collegeville did, and that's what Collegeville knows with how this field is set up.
Yep. They know their home ballpark better than anyone else, as you can imagine. So Aiden Zakarowicz, the batter here, he jumps out to a 3-0 count against Hughes. The pitch. Swung on and missed. Tyson, you're kind of nodding your head in agreement. Do you like the green light there?
I like the green. I like the idea of the green light, especially in a league like this. Maybe not that pitch.
That pitch is lined center field. Edgitt going back. He's under it, and he's able to make the catch for the first out of this 4th inning.
Thing is, I believe that was Diaz who's hitting, right?
No, that was Zakarowicz.
Zakarowicz, my apologies. He's also using the torpedo bat, so even though it's a little inside, that is more where the barrel is for the bat. So, again, maybe not something I would go for, but that might be what he likes. He maybe likes really inside stuff.
And there you can see Chase Fisher warming up. He's got 4 innings pitched off of 5 games, an ERA of 7 with 4 earned runs allowed.
So we will most likely see Fisher come in relief of Hughes. We don't know when that will be, however.
He's got 4 strikeouts as well.
Is that pitch
And
in there
6
for a called
walks.
pitch in there for a called strike? Yeah,
Going by the pace of Fisher, I'm assuming they're going to do it next inning. Because he's really only barely getting started.
That is
think
on the
they-
ground. Diving attempt by Luzins at third base. It'll get into left field for a base hit. Chase Jones.
Yeah, I think they're assuming Hughes, he's going to finish this one out. And so Fisher, he's just taking his time. He's going to warm up nice and slow.
Yeah, you can see we're seeing a lot more contact there. That time from Chase Jones, the DH. But there's that previous hit from Zakarowicz. Went pretty deep, so probably wise to be getting the bullpen warm.
Yep.
So run on first here, 1 out for Roman Reed. Had an RBI single in his last at bat. That pitch in there for a called strike. As I was saying, at the middle of this 4th inning, a hotly contested game here as these two teams, 2nd and 3rd place in the standings as we get closer to the playoffs here in the Perky Valley Twilight League.
And to that point, critically, not just any kind of 2nd and 3rd. This game will determine who will take the top spot. Or within one game of each other, making it all the more important.
These two teams battle with the Lansdale Tigers, who currently sit in 1st place in the league. Pickoff attempt. Jones back safely.
Yeah, I wish we had the pitch count here for Hughes, just because usually later in the season, especially when it's hotter, sometimes you just don't feel the fatigue in terms of wear and tear on your shoulder and on your elbow the same way you might early in the season. Of course, that is replaced by overall bodily fatigue with the heat, but they might let Hughes go a little bit more than, say, you would see in June or May, just because his arm's probably feeling good. He's into the season. He's got the durability back, and it's so easy to warm up when it's warm, as it were.
Especially when your guy in the bullpen who's warming up has less innings pitched than games played in. So he's not necessarily a go-to guy in the bullpen. It's not something that someone who's used to pitching, and if he is, maybe it's only for 1-2 innings at a time.
Yep.
So to ask him to come in and pitch 3 is a tough act.
So we get an interesting mound visit here between Hughes and Kearns on the 0-2 count. We're ready for baseball here again. The pitch. Upstairs. Yeah, what do we think about that, guys? A mound visit here during the middle of an at-bat. Hughes has Roman Reed out to an 0-2 count, and then we get a pretty lengthy mound visit as well. That was upwards of 60, 90 seconds.
You wonder if that's just for a break or if catcher's seeing something there. Catcher being Kearns.
Pickoff attempt.
I think it's just figuring out some base running stuff. Again, as we saw the high fastball there, it might have even been how can I forget the name of the play? It might have been a pitch out, actually. Like might have been the idea, and that's what maybe the mound visit was for. You don't
Not a bad
always
point.
have a sign for a pitch out. You don't usually do them, so
That 1-2 pitch drops in there for a called strike 3.
yeah.
Not sure exactly what Roman Reed saw there.
Shaking his head, headed back to the dugout. Obvious disappointment. We'll take another look at it here. That was beauty. Couldn't have dropped it any better.
Nasty from Hughes.
I think he's just sitting on the fastball. Obviously, saw the curve, saw the height, let up, and then no way he was gonna have any power for a swing.
So 2-away here for Tyler Baselli. That pitch line foul down the right field line.
Sally thought he had a chance there. You saw him curse at the ground a little bit there.
Got a pitch he liked and just missed it.
Yeah, he definitely had a piece, knew what was coming, just not able to capitalize. Could be critical here in this 2-2 game.
And when you have a guy like Hughes who throws a bit harder, you just got to look to get on that fastball early, and he certainly could have.
It's the third pickoff attempt there from Hughes, trying to get Jones.
You know what I wonder? I wonder if Kearns said during that meeting, like, "Hey man, I'm dying in here. It's hot. I don't know if I've got the juice to get it second in time. You got to hold this guy at first." Because ever since then, we've been seeing a lot of pickoff attempts.
Very well could have said that as that pitch is fouled back. That'll make it 0-2.
Yeah, honestly, if I was the catcher, I might get a mound visit just to maybe tell him to relax a little bit more. I mean, you've got 2 outs, your best pitcher on the team. You just assume you're going to get the out here. You just worry that if he's picking off too much or focus on the base runner, it's just going to throw him off going home. Clearly, he hasn't yet, but again, it's easy to lose focus today.
Hughes has his sign and comes set. Long pause. The 0-2. Swung on and missed for strike 3.
Beautiful spot placement there, low and outside. Just a stunner.
And I love that long pause. Instead of looking over so many times, you're more used to, as a base runner, multiple looks. So that long pause instead, it's going to throw off both the hitter and the base runner. And as we saw, it clearly threw off the hitter.
Yeah, he was taking the soul out of these batters here. You can see Baselli's body language all throughout that at-bat was nothing but frustrated.
Frustrated indeed. We will go to the top of the 5th on the Sports Fan Base Network. All knotted up at 2. Stay right here.
Hi, I'm Marty Bystrom, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. In my experience in Major League Baseball, I know how important it is for high school athletes to gain exposure. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you are a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Hi, I'm Tommy Green, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. When I was in high school, it was very important to me to show scouts what I could do. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you're a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
We are back here in the top of the 5th, all knotted up at 2, Collegeville, taking on Conshohocken as that ball is shot short center field. Easily coming up to make the catch is Diaz. Diaz replacing Duhame in center field after he took an injury. See the replay.
So we also got a pitching change here. Chase Jones in for Bryce Blatt.
No, Bryce
No,
Blatt.
Bryce Blatt is number 6 too.
Yeah, they both. I said that earlier. They both have 2. They have 2 number 6s. Chase
It's
Jones
ridiculous.
is the DH.
I can't believe I forgot that already. That's embarrassing.
Interesting move keeping Bryce Blatt out there. As the pitch right down Main Street. Call a strike.
Definitely interesting to say the least. We thought, at least we assumed, the general consensus was that he was going to go 4 innings and that was going to be his day, especially after giving up the home run to Luzins. But It's also seemed to pay off as he got one pitch, one out to start this 5th inning, and he's up here in the count.
And again, with the heat and how the arm's going to warm up today, you can sort of play around with that more in the bullpen than you might at a different time.
That 0-2 pitch in the dirt, or in the turf beads, I guess I should say.
You know, I
1 and
know
2.
it's hot. You can see someone in the Conshohocken bench just holding a gallon of water, just a straight up, looks like a Wawa gallon of water. And that to me is true summer heat baseball, because you don't care about, you need that whole gallon.
That 2-2 pitch, a little bit inside.
All right.
Coming dangerously close there to Austin Edgett. But that one just perfect on a full count. Got him looking.
Yeah,
Second out of the top of the 5th.
Love that backdoor curve.
Can see the
Tough.
body language there from Edgett.
Yeah, he
Head
knew.
down, looking at his shoes. Just a beautiful pitch from Bryce Blatt there on the outside corner. Two
Yeah.
quick outs. We said we were surprised he's out here for the 5th, but he's making it very worthwhile.
Yeah, Bryce Blatt with some efficient pitching. Already 2 down here as that first pitch is low. Ball 1. Second pitch to a similar tune. 2-0 the count. Bullpen empty here for Conshohocken. That pitch inside, 3-0.
If enough with Petrich, if he leaned a little bit the other way, he might have gotten hit. I don't know if they'd given it to him, but
Yeah, and that is a 4-pitch walk. And we'll see Petrich saunter to first, bringing up Cody Clark, the power hitter in the 4 spot.
Yeah, important here for Bryce Blatt not to let that get to you too much. Recognize the situation. You still got 2 outs. Nobody in scoring position yet. Doesn't do you much hurt. Just go out and get this guy.
you know, fellas, I actually think Petrich has been on every at bat this game. I think that's his second walk, and then he had the line drive in the right center, right?
Yep, the right center field double. So
Yeah.
exactly what you want out of your 3 hitter. Just production.
He's been doing a great job getting on. 0-1 the count here for Clark. The pitch swung on, fouled down the third base line.
So you can see as we're panning around, you can see the left fielder a bit deeper out there than for the other Collegeville hitters. If I remember for Feaster, he was way more closer to the infield.
2 outs, 0-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled back directly above the press box. So staying alive here, doing a good job of it, is Cody Clark. He's the first baseman here for Collegeville. 2-2 the score. Here's the pitch. And it's ball 1-2 right on the edge of the zone there.
That's a tough take.
Yeah, I saw
We were all
both of
looking
you.
around here in the booth. We were like, really? That's not strike 3?
Both of you had a visceral reaction to that pitch. We'll take a look at the replay, get some clarity.
Yeah.
Not sure where that one missed.
Off the inside of the bat there, down the third base line. Still staying alive is Cody Clark. This has been a long at-bat, only yielding a 1-2 count.
Yeah, I'm still genuinely shocked. I mean, that just seemed like a perfect outside corner on the black 4-seamer, and guess the umpire didn't like it.
There's Bryce Blatt. That ball is hit into play. Fielder's choice at second will end the inning, as Petrich wouldn't get there in time. That's going to do it for the top of the 5th. We'll stay right here for the Conshohocken Commodores to have their at-bat.
Yeah, and it's been a really nice outing here from Bryce Blatt. Giving up it really just comes down to the one mistake, and we see that so oftentimes in this sport. And talking about the outings and pitchers is sometimes you just make one mistake, one bad pitch.
Yep.
That home run to number 4, Cole Lusens, that's the story here today. Other than that, as we see the Lusens home run, all I can really say is Bryce Blatt's made one bad pitch today, and that's it. And that's the life of a pitcher sometimes. Sometimes that's enough to keep a game close.
Yeah, definitely.
I think the only thing I might have adjusted for Bryce Blatt is I would have used more curves, more off speed. I felt like for Collegeville, they were getting under it a bit more than his other pitches. And that's where he was getting, from Feaster, for example, he was getting those 2 infield flies. And so I probably would have adjusted my sequence and just say, hey, let's throw more curves in the zone, maybe get away from the fastball a bit more, because it definitely felt like, especially towards the end, that Collegeville was really getting on his fastball.
Yeah, and you may notice here, it is no longer Jason Hughes on the bump. It is Chase Fisher, number 14, we were discussing briefly. Once again, he's got 5 games played, 4 innings pitched, and a 7 ERA after letting in 4 earned runs. So he's definitely not at exactly the same caliber as the starter Jason Hughes in terms of pitching. Definitely has a different release, you can see there. Looks to be a lot less fluid and a little bit more wrist motion.
We're also going, obviously, from righty in Hughes to lefty in Fisher. We'll see how the Conshohocken Commodores will adjust. The majority of them won't affect them too much. They are mostly right-handed batters.
You just got to remember the difference in movement more than anything at this level, which is why I'm sort of surprised with how important it seems to be to MLB players with the change in hands in the opposite hands for the hitters. Just sometimes I actually like going against the lefty just because his fastball is going to go towards me, but at the same time it can be harder because his curve is going to be a little different to go against.
Yeah, so we'll see how McNeil deals with it, the catcher.
Also in the bullpen right now, Benny Wilson for Collegeville. He just walked out there, so I think it is going to be 1 inning for Fisher.
That first pitch swung on and missed. Looked like McNeil wanted all of it. Nice first pitch there from Chase Fisher. Second one far inside. Looked like it might have hit McNeil had he not moved his leg out of the way.
100%.
So here's the 1-1. Once again inside.
One tough thing with sidearm especially is if it's slipping away from you outside, slipping out of your hands, then you might come around it more, hence why we're seeing it going sort of in a straight line inside. And so I think that's what's going on for Fisher. Is he trying to adjust the release? But he can be tough. I personally didn't feel that way, so I don't know how that adjustment feels.
That 3-1 hit clobbered out to left field. It's going to hit the ground in fair play. Heading to second here is McNeil. He's going to get there in time, standing up. That's a double for McNeil.
Yeah, huge hit there for McNeil and for the Conshohocken Commodores to lead off this bottom of the 5th inning. As we see here, 3-1 count, gets a pitch he likes over the outside edge of the plate. He's able to put a nice drive into it left field. Extra bases for McNeil.
Yeah, that's a perfect 3-1 pitch to hit. I mean, that is basically right down the middle. As we get a courtesy runner, instead of McNeil, it's number 15, Logan Sig. Which, again, we all assumed that McNeil would get courtesy ran basically every time he got on base. So no shocker for us here.
Here's the pitch from Fisher on the border of the opposite batter's box. That's a ball.
I believe we have a pinch hitter here, number 19.
Yeah, that's Mason Coyne.
Yeah, this is the 9 spot. This was McNally who started the game.
Ball swung on and fouled back. See the ball fly by our camera crew there.
I can't quite remember if McNally was a lefty, if they're going for that idea. I mean, because he's hitting 286 so far this season, so it's not like he's having a bad hitting season. little surprised.
So here's the 1-1. Swing and miss. Chase Fisher. We're talking about him, the new pitcher entering the game. Something to keep in mind, he's got 6 walks compared to 4 strikeouts. So certainly more of a wild pitcher. We saw that 1 strike taken.
Also, now finding Mason Coyne's stats here. He's played 4 games, 6 at-bats, 2 hits. So seems like he's at least started off well when he's played.
Still looking to make his mark here as that pitch finds the edge nicely. Curved right back inside. Beautiful pitch there from Chase Fisher.
I thought that was a little bit outside, but you're going to see a lot of horizontal movement from Fisher just because of his release. So
We'll see it on the replay here.
yeah.
Just arcs right back inside. Nice piece of pitching to send the count 2-2.
Did a really nice job there from Fisher to able to settle back down there after the leadoff double, get that strikeout, a big first out here this 5th inning.
And that ball is hit directly to the center gap, bobbled. Throw not made in time. It was high regardless. So that's going to be a single off an error for Kevin Brace.
Yeah, really interesting play there. Almost an unbelievable play by Fisher there. Behind his back, it goes off his glove. He was really close to making this play. As you see, it ricochets off his glove. And then no chance, especially after the bobble, for the second baseman, McCouch.
So it would have been tough for McCouch had he fielded it cleanly. But even though for his own play, the hit off the glove from Fisher didn't really do too much, just the difference in velocity probably threw him off, and he went around it harder than he needed to.
So a dangerous spot here for Chase Fisher as he faces Krieger with runners on the corners, 1 out, and a 1-0 count. And Kevin Brace, you can see there, showcase that last play. He is a speedster. Get around these bases quickly. Here's the pitch. Just high. 2-0 now the count.
Yeah, really big spot here for Fisher and for Collegeville.
Honestly, if I'm Fisher, I don't mind a walk here. Just get the bases loaded, make it even easier for a double play anywhere. Get yourself out of this.
You know, Tyson, I want to agree with you, but I'm not sure I can, especially with Ian Diaz on deck for Conshohocken. One of the better players in this league with a lot of eye-popping numbers. Came into this game hitting .481, leading their team with 25 hits, 15 RBIs, 16 runs, 5 homers, and 6 doubles. I mean, I could go on and on and on. So it's not a bad point. I just don't know if I would be able to trust my pitcher, especially with Diaz.
Well, we're
that's
going
the
to
thing.
see Diaz now as that is a walk, bases loaded. So the second baseman, power hitter, has got a
Bring
chance.
in Wilson. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Wilson is also a very, very good pitcher. As I guess,
Jason Hughes is just going to
Jason
bounce
Hughes is
out of here.
walking out in his Tims. But yeah, Benny Wilson is a good pitcher. So I think that walk might have actually been called. Make it again easier for Benny Wilson. I understand, as Ryan was saying. Yeah, he's not going to have to go up against a really tough hitter, but he was going to have to do that no matter what.
Yep.
So
Well,
we'll take a break here and then come back once Benny's all warmed up.
Hi, I'm Marty Bystrom, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. In my experience in Major League Baseball, I know how important it is for high school athletes to gain exposure. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you are a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Hi, I'm Tommy Green, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. When I was in high school, it was very important to me to show scouts what I could do. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you're a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
welcome back to the bottom of the fifth. Bases loaded, precarious situation here for the new pitcher, Benny Wilson. He's facing Ian Diaz, a monster power hitter.
Yeah, huge spot in this game here. Cannot be understated. The circumstances, the guy at the dish, new pitcher in the game, Benny Wilson.
Deadlocked at 2. Ian Diaz looks to break that. He'll swing on the first pitch, hit high up into the air, deep. Both outfielders headed back. Looks like they're under it.
It's going to score a
And
run,
the catch made. Tag up attempt
Yeah.
is successful with ease. So 1 run scores there on the sacrifice fly
Perfect
from
job
Ian
there.
Diaz.
It's a perfect job there by Ian Diaz. You just got to hit it far enough. As an outfielder, you running back like that, there's no way for you to have time to camp under it and then maybe get some speed forward to throw it hard and far enough to get home.
Yeah, that was hit to left field. Mike Hutchinson, he was headed back there to get it. If he made, that would have been a Herculean effort from Hutchinson to get it back in time.
It's a Cespedes type of throw there.
There's the pitch. And additionally, I don't think that first pitch hit is an indictment, or that first pitch run scored is an indictment on Benny Wilson, as all throughout the day and all last week, we see Ian Diaz consistently swinging on first pitches. As that is a swing and a miss.
I'd say it's a tough position for Benny Wilson. I mean, Ian Diaz, who's certainly sitting on the fastball. That's usually what guys throw during their first at bat of the whole day. And so watching him warm up, he was probably just waiting to time that up. And with the power that he has, he knew it would go far and it would get his team a run.
So Zakarowicz just off there, sending the count to 1-2 with 2 outs here. Runners on second and third. Wilson looks back to second and delivers the pitch. Off base, 2-2.
It's a lucky break there for Wilson. If it didn't bounce off of Zarowicz's foot, that ball would have gone much closer to the dugout. Everyone would have advanced.
Absolutely. Nice job by Kearns to get on it. So here's the 2-2. Slow and outside. 3-2 loaded count now for Zakarowicz, who's been a very consistent hitter. He's a speedster too.
I was just going to say, be mindful here. Runners will be off on the pitch, 3-2, 2 outs. Watch out for a ball in the gap. Runners will score.
So here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him. Beautiful way to end the inning there for Benny Wilson as he strikes out Zakarowicz with runners stranded on second and third.
We see the replay here. Really nice job by Benny Wilson. Obviously coming in an extremely tough spot. Bases loaded, 1 out, facing the 3 and 4 hitter of Conshohocken to be able to get them both out while obviously conceding the 1 run. I think if you're Collegeville, you'll take that.
Absolutely, you'll take that. So we'll head into the top of the 6th here. The score 3-2. Conshohocken with the lead. Stick around for the finale of this exciting Perky League baseball game.
Hi, I'm Tommy Green, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. When I was in high school, it was very important to me to show scouts what I could do. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you're a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Hi, I'm Marty Bystrom, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. In my experience in Major League Baseball, I know how important it is for high school athletes to gain exposure. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you are a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company.
Welcome back to the top of the 6th. So we're headed to the witching hour of this game. 0-1 is the count. And Bryce Bat remains in the contest.
Say where wins become losses and losses become wins.
Yeah, I was hoping someone would
As
get
the
that.
legend
Oh, man.
says.
I got goosebumps just listening to that.
Yeah.
Couple more weeks. Third baseman fields it, rockets it over to first, and unable to make the play at first base is Baselli.
That's the first one he hasn't made.
Yeah,
And
it hurt me to say that.
I say, you know what? I still wouldn't blame it on him. That was a tough play and a tough throw. So, that's baseball for you.
Although that might not have been Baselli.
He's not?
That was number 25. Not
25?
Number 35 I saw over there.
Oh,
See if there was a substitution over at first base that I was unaware of.
guess so. Yeah, it would be Cross Howarth.
That's number 25, and I agree that is number 25. We also have some bullpen movement again for Conshohocken. Maybe they'll finally take out their starter, who's been honestly having a pretty good day.
That ball is hit down the third base line, sliding and grabbing it, throwing to second, incomplete. Not able to connect there on a nice finale to the play. That was a tough play to make indeed, but he is slipping and sliding all everywhere.
Yeah,
everywhere.
we'll see here. Roman Reed, nice play, throwing from his knees, and it's just unable to make the play as the second baseman brace. Tough ask for him to make that pick. We'll see a mound visit here for Conchi and potentially a pitching change as we do see some bullpen action.
Yeah, that was Howarth and Brace both struggling to make those bouncing catches. It would have been a miraculous one. Certainly a highlight level play for Roman Reed, but nonetheless, base runners on first and second.
Yeah, I think in that situation, I would have preferred if Reed just got onto his feet, thrown to first. A bit aggressive for my liking when you're sliding down to try to still go for a second. I know it's closer, but usually in those cases, first is going to be available. You're going to have a better chance to set your feet and have a better throw.
You can
So
see, nice
that's
job.
what I would have gone for.
Nice job from our camera crew spotting. That's Jackson Hoy, number 20, in the Conshohocken Commodores bullpen, warming up. Nonetheless, Breisbelt will stay in there.
Hoy, 9 innings pitched, giving up 4 earned runs, so ERA of 3.11. There's 5 unearned runs as well, so 9 in total.
Hutchinson scoring the bunt here.
Yeah, no outs. That pitch is high. Runners will advance. Didn't even need to make contact on the bunt to achieve his goal.
Yeah, I'm assuming the idea was hard, high, and in to get some bad contact, but especially late in this game at this point, it's very easy to overthrow, which is almost certainly what happened.
Here's the pitch from Breisblatt. 2-1 pitch high. Or 2-0, I apologize, pitch high. 3-0 the count.
Yeah, real danger zone here for Conchi and for Bryce Blatt in particular. So that's going to be a 4-pitch walk. We'll load the bases with nobody out.
Feeling similarly to a previous situation. In the top of the 6th. It's going to send Cole Luzzens, the man who hit the home run earlier, up to the bat with the bases loaded. Certainly a scary position here for Breisblatt.
Surprised no substitution.
I agree.
Looks like Hoy's ready. He's done throwing.
That clipped him. Did that not clip him?
According to the umpire, it did not clip him, but it was certainly close. 1-0 the count. That pitch low inside, called strike.
So we see the alignment here for the Conchi infield. They're going to go middle infielders back to try to turn 2, but the corners are up on the grass.
Fielded nicely, play at home made. Runners will stay. So bases will remain loaded. 1 out stays. No runs scored there.
Yeah, right on cue. I was just talking about the infield alignment. Third baseman Roman Reed in on the grass. Nice, easy chop there, right to about his face. A little bit to his left as well. Nice, easy play though. Huge first out for Bryce Blatt.
And here's Bryce Blatt. Once again, bases loaded. This time he faces Mark McCouch.
I was a little surprised it wasn't fully infilled in. I forgot, of course, that they do have an insurance run, hence going for the double play there would have made sense.
That pitch is hit deep to right field. And with an outstanding catch made, 1 run will score. Runners will tag up to second. Could have been much more much more dangerous of a play if he had not made that catch.
Yeah, and we believe that's McNally out there back there, although we never know with these substitutions that aren't relayed up to us here in the booth.
Looked like that was number 19, Mason Coyne, out in right field.
Okay, yeah, so Mason Coyne into the game now. It's a fantastic catch. I mean, a run scores, obviously, but if he doesn't make that catch and that ball caroms off the wall, it's multiple runs.
Yep, 3-3 game. And third out made over at first base after the ball was rocked over to Skarwitz. So that's going to do it here for the 6th inning. We are back tied at 3 heading into the 7th. Stick around for the conclusion.
I know, it's fun.
Hi, I'm Marty Bystrom, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. In my experience in Major League Baseball, I know how important it is for high school athletes to gain exposure. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you are a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY.
Hi, I'm Tommy Green, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. When I was in high school, it was very important to me to show scouts what I could do. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you're a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Bottom of the 6th here, scores tied 3-3, and it is only 3-3 thanks to that fantastic catch out in right field by Coyne of Conshohocken. Back and to his right, reaching out, sort of a desperate reach for that, saving multiple runs. So we go to the bottom of the 6th, tied 3-3.
Yeah, maybe the only thing you could, and I'm not even saying it is a critique because you make the play, that's what matters. The only thing maybe you could have done is just turn and ran a little bit harder to start, try to get to the spot first. But what is important, of course, is getting that play, keeping it an out, and making it a tougher time for everyone to tag up.
Yeah, certainly. And he stayed on his feet, which was huge. Had he slid or fell, could have been 2 runs scoring there as he took time to get back to his feet. But holds it up 1, so it's still a tie ball game. And we talked about earlier how important this game is with the Collegeville White Sox sitting at 10-7 and the Conshohocken Commodores sitting at 10-7-1, so barely eking out the White Sox in terms of placement.
Yeah, Ryan, expanding on that point, too. These two teams could have come into this contest going in different directions. Conshohocken 2-3-1 in their last 6. Obviously, that one tie was the game that we had last week at Norristown High School. They tied 0-0 with the Trooper Tribe before rain delay cutting out that rest of the ball game in the 6th inning. So they're 2-3-1 in their last 6, whereas Collegeville 6-1 in their last 7, albeit 2 forfeits against Valley Forge on July 8th and the Dirt Dogs on July 10th.
Hey, you know, we always say a win's a win.
Right, absolutely.
You know, when the Eagles beat up on the Giants, they didn't make the win any less valuable.
Absolutely.
Don't you just love when the Eagles beat up on the Giants? I mean, it's
Makes my
it's
day
a
every
yearly
time.
tradition times 2 every year.
That one, and I also like when they really beat up on the Packers as well. That's one of my favorites, just because I feel the AFC North, because they're or the NFC North, they're so old. They're a little bit pretentious sometimes.
That
Oh,
ball is
big line
hit
drive
down the
there.
third base line by Chase Jones. Nice hit. He's going to go 2. It's going to be a close one. Slides in, safe and sound. Might have got bailed out there by an inaccurate throw, leading to no tag attempt.
That turn and tag would have been tough as well. So maybe not a total bailout, but certainly very aggressive.
Yeah, it would have been tough
actually,
indeed.
He would have
but
had time. Yeah,
it was
so.
close.
Bang.
Either way, a double there for the hitter Jones.
Anyway, finishing up my point on the Eagles, Jordan Love is not better than Jalen Hurts, and I will never hear anything different.
Yeah, it was a minor argument we had today with one of our cameramen, Garland Reading, as that bunt laid down by Nick Reamish. Went foul. 0-1 the count.
I got to say, that was one of the farthest balls bunted backwards in the air I've ever seen. That went over our press box here behind home plate, and I watched it roll over by the road, and I'm looking at it sitting in the grass right now.
I hope you've seen those highlights of guys where they basically bunt it in the air to right. I mean, it's possible if you get the velocity, it is possible, but...
And Benny Wilson is throwing heat right now, so that definitely helps the equation out. 1-1 the count here. And Remish is at bat. He's batting .414 this season with 12 hits. That ball is hit down the right field line, foul. So Remish.
Interesting for Feaster, if a ball goes out right field, it's close to the line, I might be a bit hesitant to catch it only because it'll basically make it impossible to throw the tagging runner out.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's a good high IQ play there. Here's the pitch from Wilson. Once again, it is fouled. So staying alive is Remish.
Yeah, and kind of a PSA to the audience and to you too as well. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here. So this is the 7 spot. This was where Baselli is in the lineup. Or excuse me, no, this is in Roman Reed's spot, the 6th spot.
Yeah, that is correct.
Yep. So I wonder if Remish will go and play third, if it'll be the like-for-like swap. Yet to see.
And pitch low and away. 2-2 now the count. I wonder if we saw that Baselli was not at first base anymore. Instead it was Howarth who pitched in our game. So you wonder if something happened to Baselli and they have to move things around a little bit. Either way, here's the 2-2. And it's chopped. Dead ball called by the umpire.
Yeah, so we see that's Howarth in the in the on-deck circle. In the 7th spot for Baselli, also playing first base. So that's a like-for-like swap. We'll see when Conchi takes the field for the top of the 7th if it'll be Remish for Roman Reed over at third.
So Remish faces a 2-2. Runner on second. Benny Wilson's been pitching well today. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. Nice piece of pitching there. Benny Wilson.
If I had to guess, I think that was more of a changeup than a four-seamer. Hence why it looked like he was a bit early on it, and then it just dropped a little bit under him. Yeah. Good pitch.
Yeah, Benny Wilson came to play, just 1 earned run today, but we've all agreed that's not quite his fault. He was thrust into a tough situation.
I actually am not even really sure that would be his earned run. I think that would still be charged to Fisher because Fisher's the one who loaded the bases.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, I mean, absolutely. Absolutely, I agree, Ryan. He did a nice job there, only giving up the 1 run, coming in with the bases loaded, and he's looked solid so far here, trying to work around the leadoff double.
So now it's Howarth in the box, up ahead in the count already, 2-0. So Wilson heads inside on both of those previous 2 pitches. Wilson lines up and deals. That ball is swung on, hit high up into the air. First baseman going to get it. That's Clark, but it will head out of play.
I think first at bat today for Howarth. This would be interesting. I'm sort of against pitch hitting only because a guy's sitting down all day. It's tough to warm yourself up and get ready to really play like that, but he's in the field, so hopefully fully warmed up.
I mean, it's gotten into the rhythm of the game a little bit as that ball is hit down the center gap. Got to it in time, did the shortstop, and a nice play made by Petrich to Clark. Petrich with a sliding stop there. Let's take a look at the replay.
Yeah, we kind of came into this inning talking about run-saving plays. This is one of them as well. Petrich sliding to his left. If that ball gets into center field, the runner scores from second base, you'd imagine. Score still 3-3 thanks to that fantastic play.
See, unless the flash is out there in center field, which definitely isn't because it would have caught everything, then there's no way center fielder for Collegeville would have been able to get that.
Yeah, edge it. No way he would have been able to come up with it and throw home.
So runner advances to third base there. 2 outs now, 1-0 the count. Batter is number 16, Ryan Cassoni. Apologize to the Cassoni family if I'm grossly mispronouncing that. Here's the pitch. Check swing. Umpire decides he went.
Yeah, interesting timing both in these substitutions and also just a high volume of them.
Got to wonder if the heat's contributing here to this high volume of switches.
Could also just be Conshohocken, utilizing their depth. They've got, a lot of these guys. I recognize their names. They've started and they've played in games in the past, and they're coming off the bench now. They might just be kind of using their embarrassment of riches in a way.
It's a good strategy to have. It's a good problem to have.
Ciccone hitting in the
Absolutely.
8th spot here for McNeil.
Pitch from Wilson, another check swing. He did not go this time. So he'll face a loaded count now with a runner on third. 2 outs. 3-3 the score here in the bottom of the 6th. This is a massive upcoming pitch. Wilson looks on. He wheels, fires, hit right back at him. He drops the ball, but nonchalantly dishes it over to first in time for the 3rd out of that inning.
Yeah, if I've described Wilson just because I've seen him pitch and do his PFPs before, it's almost as nonchalant and as leisure as sort of Ranger Suarez. He
Agreed.
clearly was a position player who became a pitcher, as he still does hit even when he pitches. And so he's very comfortable whenever a grounder comes to him, just throw it over nice and easy.
So that's going to do it for the 6th. We'll head into the top of the 7th. Score still deadlocked at 3. It's a good one, so stick around.
Hi, I'm Tommy Green, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. When I was in high school, it was very important to me to show scouts what I could do. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you're a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAYE.
Hi, I'm Marty Bystrom, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. In my experience in Major League Baseball, I know how important it is for high school athletes to gain exposure. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you are a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
And we are back here in the top of the 7th, so a couple of interesting substitution notes. First and foremost, Bryce Blatt still on the bump. He's going to be pitching all day today, barring something pulling him out here in the top of the 7th. At catcher, we have a substitution. McNeil is no longer in the game, and it's Ciccone. Remish takes over for Roman Reed. That's Nick Remish over at third base. And we mentioned the previous inning, Baselli, his day was done, and Howarth took over at first. And that first pitch hit high up into the air, left field, and catch made by Krieger.
Yeah, we were just saying during the break how usually during these games, even if it's very, very hot and you're on turf, we've seen quite a lot of full substitutions today. Usually we might see some pitch hitting. You'll see some courtesy runners for sure, as we saw for McNeil earlier. But the full substitutions, the fact that they have 5 of them, is a bit surprising.
So now Owen Petrich heads into the box, takes that first strike. That was Austin Edgett, the batter previous, who flew out to left field. Bryce Blatt pitches, swing and a miss.
And honestly, Bryce Blatt's curve is looking very sharp. Honestly, it might be the sharpest it's been all day, which again can happen in a game like today.
Well, now these players have some shade, so the heat's still a factor, but less so as the sun starts to set behind the trees at Villanova Baseball Stadium. Swing and a miss there. Petrich is gone.
Yeah, 2 quick outs here for Bryce Blatt. That's definitely what we want to see for Conshohocken is they try to get out there and then get back into their dugout and try to walk this off in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, I feel bad for McNally out there in right field. It is still McNally. Am I making that up, am I? Yep, I'm right. McNally out in right field, only one in the sun still.
No, that's Coin now. We made that point earlier.
See, that's why I asked.
Listen. It's tough up
me.
here when you know, you're trying to keep track of all these substitutions. You got guys.
I didn't update my sheet. That one's on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we made that point how Coin made that fantastic play in right field.
Yeah,
saving a couple runs. It's tough, ladies and gentlemen. These outfielders, we're not exactly sure who they are, as they're about 400 feet away from us.
That 0-2 pitch hit. First baseman makes the play. Bryce Blatt covering at first, and that's going to do it for the top of the 7th. Quick one. Bryce Blatt escapes. 3-3 remains the score. We'll stay right here, so stick around. So what do we think, guys? Is Wilson staying in the game, or are we bringing a closer out? Looks like Wilson's coming out.
Yeah.
I think you got to ride with Wilson here. He's pitched extremely well in limited opportunities so far today. So he tries to extend this game, push it to extra innings.
And you got to appreciate the hustle from Cody Clark, the big man in the cleanup spot, trying to run out that play at first, but a nice play made by Howarth.
It's tough, as we said. Collegeville, at least from what we believe, does not have the same sort of depth as Conshohocken, and so you really don't want to use any more pitchers than you have to. And in a 7-inning game, you're already using 3 pitchers,
And including, of course, Wilson out here. If I have this number correct, they have 8.
so that's almost half your pitching staff. That's 37.5% of your pitching staff gone already. And so you have a game, not even later this week, but even in the next week, there'll be some guys whose arms might still be too sore.
And the dog days of summer, that gets even more critical as the season starts to wind down. The heat and humidity, I guess I should say, intensifies. And more events happen. So you might have a couple players here, a couple players there. So it certainly is a tiptoeing game of roster construction. Looks like to lead off for Collegeville, it's me, number 19. Or Conshohocken, I apologize. That's Mason Coyne out in the leadoff spot of this inning. Following him will be Brace.
Yeah, so it'll be 9-1-2 here in the lineup for Conshohocken as they look to walk this off and take firm control of second place in the Perky Valley Twilight League.
All
It's
right.
going to be a good one here.
So the potential for extra innings looming. 3-3 the score. Will we see more baseball here, or will we see a walk-off? That's the question. First pitch. Ball called. Sent down the line.
Yeah,
They
I
sent it
believe
down the
so.
line, and the first base umpire said it was in no swing, so I believe it was a ball.
Well, we'll see when the umpire.
I'll say when the umpire puts his hands up. I'll say another reason why I think they're going to stick with Benny Wilson is because if there's a time you want a guy in the bullpen, is you get another strike there. If there's a time to get a guy in the bullpen, it's now. Because if Benny Wilson does his job perfectly and therefore gets 9-1-2 out, then you get a brand new pitcher for the heart of this Conshohocken lineup, which would be very advantageous.
So 1-2 now is the count. Was a ball that first pitch.
Yeah, I think because the home plate umpire pointed down to the first base umpire for the appeal.
Yep. That hit is hit to center field, backing up and making the catch quite easily is Edgett.
It's a good job by Edgett there. It can be really disorienting going from shade to sun, even if it's if you're not facing the sun. It's just going to see that glare a little bit, as you can see. So he's in shade, in shade, in shade. Boom, right at the end, he's in the sun. And so that glare can really mess you up. So good job by him sticking with it
And
and being able to bring it in easily.
to your point, you could see him kind of stumble there when he transitioned. So really nice job keeping his feet, keeping his eyes on the ball as we see Brace now up to bat. First pitch he swings on far down the right field line, but fouled. 0-1.
It's weird. I feel like at this field, people really hit to the right field line all the time. Even when it's different velocities, different types of pitches, I feel like nothing goes left field line somehow, which is odd since it's an even field.
We did see the home run from Luzens down the left field. Not necessarily down the left field line, but over the left field wall.
Yeah, pretty close to the line, all things considered.
That second pitch, a strike. 0-2 now the count with 1 out. Nobody on. Brace holds back wisely. Ball called 1-2.
Yeah, you know, as a hitter, 9 times out of 10, if it's an 0-2 count, they're going to first go for a chase pitch and then might go more in the zone. Like
Swing and a miss. He got him.
Yeah, great call from you, Tyson, right on key. Lays off the 0-2 pitch outside, and then Wilson, as we see her on the replay, coming right back in to go and get him for strike 3.
And that's great control by Wilson, just being able to get that a little too outside the first time and then bring it in right where your catcher asks. Nothing more you can ask for as a catcher than a pitcher with that much control over his command.
So with 2 outs now, Krieger takes the plate, sees that first pitch and swings on it. Nice pitch to the outside there from Wilson.
It's another example there. First pitch off speed. You got to be feeling really good to be throwing that, and he certainly is.
Second pitch is hit. Backing up is the second baseman. Coming forward is the right fielder, but a catch made by the second baseman. That's going to do it for the inning. So we will head to extras. The game continues here as we head into the 8th inning. Stick around for the conclusion.
Hi, I'm Marty Bystrom, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. In my experience in Major League Baseball, I know how important it is for high school athletes to gain exposure. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you are a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Hi, I'm Tommy Green, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. When I was in high school, it was very important to me to show scouts what I could do. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you're a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866.
And we're back here, top of the 8th, beginning of extra innings. Couldn't figure it out in 7, so here we are in the 8th. Pitching change here, Jackson Hoyne. And Colin Jensen is the batter. We have a ghost runner on second base as that first ball is hit high and deep to center field. Tagging up at second is a Collegeville player, and he will safely make it to third.
Yeah, that's Cody Clark in there pinch running. Or not pinch running, but he stands out there as the leadoff runner, sort of like the MLB rule you see in extra innings. The player who made the last out of the previous inning serves as that second base runner.
Yeah, so that's a worthwhile sacrifice there for Colin Jensen as he advances Clark to third base.
Saying great base running either. I don't know if it's a decision by him or one of the base coaches told him to get back, but seeing how in the end there, the center fielder for Conshohocken did not have good footing to throw. I thought it was going to be maybe a bit too short, but of course, seeing that his momentum was going back, it actually makes more sense now.
And I'm not surprised by this tag up, even though Clark is not the fastest player on the field.
Hey, batting in the 4 spot, you're not necessarily expected to be But either way,
Expected
now,
to rake, not run.
there you go.
Absolutely.
Either way, Jackson Hoyne's got his work cut out for him. Runner on third base. That ball is hit on the third base line. It's going to call fair and out at first. That was certainly close.
I gotta say, I think that was fair.
That's fair. It
'Cause
went
that was
right
to-
over the
that was
bag,
to the
and he
left.
Caught it with a foot inside.
Well, let's find out.
As you see here, it was to the left of Cody Clark, the runner on third base. That's absolutely a fair ball.
Yeah, really nice job by our camera crew. Clear out. That's going to do it for the second out. That's a big second out. Now taking away the option for a fly-out sacrifice.
Yep.
We're gonna get the first base coach here for Collegeville. I think is inquiring.
But the thing
To
is,
see.
there's nothing you can do. You only have 2 umpires, and the second base ump, he has a significantly worse view than the plate ump. If you had a third base umpire, then sure, maybe you have someone who can say better. But
And we're going to take another look here in slow
that was
motion.
inside- yeah, and when he catches it, his foot's inside,
Yep.
and his other foot is in the air. That's 100% fair.
And
So
it looks like the umpires agree. It's all sorted out. Nice camera work by our crew and production from our producer. Here's the pitch from Hoyne.
So he just gave the crew a salute.
Yeah, a little bit about Hoy here, making his 7th appearance on the season. 3.11 ERA, 9 innings pitched, 10 hits, 5 runs, 4 of which were earned. 7 strikeouts, guys. No walks.
That's big. In a situation like this, coming into the clutch, especially when a runner is guaranteed at second,
So one thing
no
to watch.
walks are big.
One thing to watch out here, Hoyne. He just slipped on the mound. Turf mound, it can be tough to keep your footing, especially if you're trying to throw hard. So don't be surprised if you see he slips, a ball flies up, and that's how the game ends.
1-1 the count here, top of the 8th in extra innings. Runner on third base after a sac fly to advance. That pitch not within the liking of the umpire, 2-1.
I think no matter what, this is going to be the last pitch. It's getting dark enough to where Conshohocken
Ball is
might try to
hit
get another tie.
directly at the third baseman. Crow hop in time. That's Howarth with a stretch and catch. It's going to do it for the top of the 8th. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th, and we will take a quick break after this replay.
Yeah, hot shot over there to third base. Nice play from Ramesh. We'll see if Conshohocken, Collegeville, not able to take advantage of that runner on second to lead off the inning. We'll see if Conshohocken can do it and walk this baby off.
Yeah, a chance to win it here for the Commodores and a chance to take second place. We're going to take a quick break here with the score 3-3 headed into the bottom of the 8th. Stick around.
Hi, I'm Marty Bystrom, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. In my experience in Major League Baseball, I know how important it is for high school athletes to gain exposure. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you are a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY.
Hi, I'm Tommy Green, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. When I was in high school, it was very important to me to show scouts what I could do. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you're a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Welcome back here to the bottom of the 8th. Conshohocken with the chance to win it here in extras. So we see, looks like number 36 headed to second base as the pinch runner. 21, Ian Diaz, the second baseman in the batter's box. So we kind of saw the play there. Swing on early, which we know Diaz likes to do. Maybe get a fly out to advance the base runners.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're going to see. So that's Noah Kurtz out there, pinch running now into the game for Cole Krieger. And then we're going to get an intentional walk
yeah.
here, sort of a tip your cap, I respect you way too much to let you swing the bat here for Ian Diaz. They're going to put him on.
Yeah.
And I honestly agree. You get an easier play. Now you can turn 2, and even if a guy's on third, you have 2 outs. I think that is the right move with someone hitting as well as Diaz is.
And the first
That's-
baseman, Cody Clark, here in the grass. Very surprised Zakarowicz doesn't square the bunt.
And now it all means nothing.
Yeah, really nice play to advance savvy base running. Just going to say, this is all assuming that you're going to get Zakarowicz out. And Zakarowicz, he's a great hitter.
And they intentionally walk again. 'Cause now they get the
Interesting.
force out home.
Interesting maneuvers
It's
here.
way easier.
Especially with the game on the line here. I'm not sure I agree with this call. Benny Wilson's been pitching very nicely thus far. I think
Yeah.
you'd give him a chance to finish it out.
I think you got to give your infield a chance, though. You got to bring everyone in, and you got to really save that run from coming across. You got to make it a force out at home.
I would say force out easier than tag out no matter what. Infield in here.
So now we see the DH, Chase Jones. First pitch outside.
Good block there.
Absolutely.
Kearns.
And now we need perfection from not only the Collegeville White Sox pitcher, Benny Wilson, but from the entire team. No outs, bases loaded, 1-0 count for the DH, Chase Jones.
Another one in the dirt.
Yep, that pitch low, 2-0 the count.
Curious. I'm looking at the outfield alignment as well for Collegeville. They're all pretty much in. Left fielder Hutchinson is way in. He's only about 30 feet from the infield dirt.
Thing is, you have to be. If they hit it anywhere near over your head at this point, that means
Exactly, yeah.
no
Ball
throw,
over your head, the game is over.
So,
And,
yeah.
Well, despite that, Conshohocken has a chance here to win on a walk. 3-0 is the count. Chase Jones has not swung yet.
So, come on, Wilson, give us something good here.
Wilson needs to get this over the plate, and that he does. Right down the middle. Had to have known that Jones was not swinging no matter what.
So the last thing we want to see is this game end by a walk.
Yeah, absolutely. 3-1 the count. That
And
pitch
it's-
outside. This game is over. So a risky decision for Collegeville does not pay off as they walk in the winning run. 4-3 is the final here. It took extras to get there. It took 8.
As we see Chase Jones getting poured on those gallons of water that Tyson alluded to earlier.
Yeah.
Hey, a walk-off is a walk-off. You gotta make the point that it's exciting no matter how they happen. And in a huge game like this, Conshohocken able to take firm control of second place as we get near to the playoffs.
So
You know, I don't blame them.
So this is really going to sting for Collegeville. I mean, one of your more trusted guys. So, again, as Ryan and I sort of agreed on, yeah, the force out is definitely the right move, but you were clearly in this game. You were really in this game. It just slips out of your hands, and that's going to hurt more, especially when it comes to getting close to playoffs and thinking about playoff seeding at this point.
Yeah, definitely. You said it with the playoff seeding. So that's going to mean Conchohocken's going to overtake. They're going to be the second seed here. And this massive 4-2-3 win. That's going to do it for all of us here at the Sports Fan Base Network and at the Perky Valley Twilight League. So thank you. My name's been Ryan Cuney with Ryan Straub and Tyson Maddox as my co-commentators, and Vartan Sarkissian in the production seat. Thank you very much and have a great night.